If it's Monday night, oh, yes, it is. The Wrestling Forum. Hello, friends. It's Ridiculously Over Anthony Floyd here with you for another exciting Road to WrestleMania edition of the Wrestling Forum. And, boys, it's the penultimate Road to WrestleMania edition of Monday Night Raw, which means the second to last. Don't worry, we'll get into the good stuff next week. But for right now, um, it's the second to last edition of Monday Night Raw, and it was live tonight from from a city that Michael Fletcher likes to affectionately call the Philadelphia. That's right, the Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Monday Night Raw was on the USA Network, just concluded just a short time ago, and well, let's dive right in. Of course, before we do that, of course, how we do it here on the Wrestling Forum. Of course, we're going to review Monday Night Raw first, and then from there, a very highly anticipated Mikey's Mindset. I mean, not only the latest happenings in Ring of Honor and a huge ladder match that's going to be coming up as part of Lucha Underground. Yes, I saw a promotion for that tonight. I saw a commercial for it as I was watching Raw tonight. A huge ladder match coming up for Lucha Underground, which Michael Fletcher will have some big details about. Cannot wait to hear about that. And then from there, Fletcher will also have, I'm sure, the latest news from, well, not just the latest news. I'm sure he'll have somewhat of a recap of the RWA Perseverance event that he attended this past Friday night at the Chop Shop in Providence, Rhode Island. And then, of course, I'll have my Tony's Take, where I'm going to be recapping a very exciting edition of Impact Wrestling, as Michael Fletcher and his idol Gorilla Monsoon always like to say, history was made last Tuesday night on Impact Wrestling. A brand new TNA World Heavyweight Champion was crowned. Who was it? Well, you're going to have to wait until the Tony's Take. The only hint I'm going to give you, a former mainstay in the WWE, who would go from a mainstay, to an afterthought. That's all I can say about it. So, and then of course my SmackDown thoughts as well. So with all that being said, let's dive right in to Monday Night Raw. It was live tonight from Philadelphia, Wells Fargo Center. So let's go. It started off with an in-ring segment. Stephanie McMahon by herself comes out, looking gorgeous as always, talking about last week's vicious attack by Roman Reigns on her husband, the WWE World Heavyweight Champion Triple H. And then, speak of the devil, Roman Reigns interrupts, drawing massive boos from the rabid IWC crowd that is Philadelphia. But then again, that crowd has always been rabid long before the IWC even existed. Let's not kid ourselves. Same fans who booed Santa Claus. Hello, do I even need to remind you about that? But then from there, let's run it down. Of course, Stephanie did her usual welcome to Monday Night Raw. Said Triple H would not be there. She said any fans who want refunds have exactly 60 seconds to go to the box office. And then she said Hunter's absence was not due to Reigns attacking him last week. She said Reigns proved that he lacks intellect by jeopardizing his title match at WrestleMania. And then she boasted about how her and Hunter can buy anyone or anything. And then the only other thing Stephanie also said that the reason why Triple H was there is that he has corporate responsibilities, since Triple H is also the COO of the company. And then that brings out Roman Reigns, and then Reigns was booed by the crowd. Like I said, he entered the ring, and then Stephanie mentioned what he did to Hunter last week and said now he's trying to intimidate her. Started talking about what Hunter was going to do to Reigns at Mania. Roman interrupts, grabs the mic, shushed her. Yep. And then asked the fans if they want to know why Hunter isn't there. Triple H didn't want to come to Philly because he knew I would whoop his ass all over Broad Street. And if you thought last week was bad, wait until we get to WrestleMania. The fans still continue to boo Reigns, who said he was going to take the title and there's nothing Stephanie or her daddy's money can do about it. Stephanie went for one of her infamous billion-dollar princess slaps, Roman blocks. And then he said very simply, much to the delight of myself and Michael Bullock, now I'm the authority. Oh, was that awesome? Yeah. Oh man, I got chills. I actually was getting J-Lo goosies when I heard that. My lord. But okay, so that's pretty much the segment in a nutshell. It was not your usual 30-minute segment, boys. This went about 5 or 10 minutes, so which is rather short for a segment like that, especially of that nature, considering who was involved. Stephanie in that. But hello, but not the segment of the night. Fine segment for what it was. I mean, I love Stephanie McMahon. You guys already know that by now. Um, a great heel promo by Steph as usual, and then Roman coming out and say what you want about Roman, but I like Roman here. I mean, I especially love that "Now I'm the authority" line. That was awesome. So it was kept short and sweet and wisely scripted to play opposite Stephanie. I mean, I know there are a lot of people who are saying, "Oh, that could have gone so much worse." Yes, the live crowd booed Roman Reigns, but they paused whenever he spoke. It's not like he was completely rejected to the point that they didn't want to hear what he had to say. The verbal segment kept short and sweet, and he was wisely scripted to play opposite Stephanie, who is the least likely person for any crowd to side with. I mean, let's face it, nobody draws more heat in the WWE nowadays than Stephanie McMahon. Hell, I can even say she draws more heel heat than anybody in WWE history, even more so than when Vicky Guerrero. Not anymore. That's one Stephanie McMahon. Michael Bullock, Phenom. As I bring you in, of course, I'm like as always, I'm joined by my partners in crime, the Phenom Michael Bullock and the Cerebral Viper Michael Fletcher. And believe it or not, friends, the Phenom and I had a very short Raw chat tonight. I mean, usually we do the whole thing, but Bullock came in towards the end of the show, so because for very special reason, for very good reason, which we'll keep behind the scenes. So with all that being said, Phenom, come on in. I want to bring you in here now, sir. You heard about the happenings of tonight's show, so your thoughts on this opening segment with Stephanie and Roman Reigns, which I pretty much gave you the schematics for.
Yeah, you pretty much gave the schematics, but first off, hello friends, Mike Bullock here. I mean, this is the Phenom, Mike Bullock here for another awesome edition of the Wrestling Forum. I mean, normally when it comes to these authority segments, whether it's Triple H or Stephanie, it usually goes about 20 minutes, but no, they basically kept it short, sweet, and to the point. And like you said, Stephanie telling everyone that Triple H was not around, and then out comes Roman Reigns, and I think Roman Reigns was the star of this segment. And like you said, say what you want about Roman Reigns, about some of his promo segments, which sometimes can be a work in progress, but I thought he did really well, and I loved what he said at the end when he said, "I'm the authority." I was like, "Whoa!" He really laid it out on Stephanie McMahon, and then of course went for one of those traditional bitch slaps of hers, but Roman blocked it. I mean, wow. I mean, like you said, this was not the segment of the night. But I thought the segment was good for what it was. So, nice way to start off Monday Night Raw. So, with that being said, I'm going to toss it up to our resident Cerebral Viper, Michael Fletcher, for his thoughts on this opening segment. So, Fletch, I give it to you.
Yeah, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? No, I gotta say, this was a really good segment. Stephanie McMahon came out, and she did her thing. She did a good job trying to get the heat in Philadelphia. WWE was a little nervous about what was going to happen with Roman Reigns. Was he going to be completely booed out of the building or the whole 9 yards? And, I think it was good. I think, the crowd definitely was on Roman, but once again, Roman gives me that Roman attitude that I've been waiting for, which is basically when he was like, you know what, we know why he's not here, because he's afraid that he's going to get his butt kicked by me again. She went for the slap, but this time Roman caught her, and I was like, oh my goodness, what's this? And then the next thing you know, he's like, now I'm the authority. Oh, that is Roman Reigns in a different attitude, a different style. If this is the Roman we get for WrestleMania, look out, fellas, because this could be the Roman that I've been waiting for. A no nonsense, in your face, will spit in the face of authority type Roman Reigns. Now, this is a Roman that I think the IWC could get behind because he's got that heel like attitude, that heel like figure, and if he turns it up a notch, and I really mean go sick, twisted, demented, make him a heel. That's the thing I say. Let the roles reverse. Triple H can be the good guy. Roman can be the heel because you know Arlington is gonna turn on Roman in a drop of a hat. It could be a 10-gallon hat for all I care. They're gonna turn on Roman. So you know he's gonna get booed, massacred. WWE's kind of worried about it. You know what? Let him embrace the hate. Let him embrace the heat. Bring it on. Because what they could do is they could package it, turn it around. They did it once before. WrestleMania 13. Austin became the face. Bret Hart instantly turned the heel at that moment. Let it happen again. Let Triple H go out as the face. Let Roman turn as the heel. Because you know, after Mr. McMahon just literally dropped a nuke tonight, and we're going to get into that, it made it all so clear to me now what the ending of a couple of fights are going to look like at WrestleMania. And I'm going to tell you right now, Mike Bullock, you ain't going to like what I'm about to say a little bit later tonight. But we'll leave that at that. With that said, Florio, I give it to you.
I gotta say it. How on earth are you gonna follow that?
The hype man strikes again. That's all I can say.
And the funny thing is I wasn't even going hype man either. I like if you're gonna rank hype man out of a 1 to 10 scale, that was literally like a 2. I didn't even go full crank.
Well, with the way you said it for tonight, I think it had the feeling of a hype man.
Well, it certainly did for me, and I'm hoping that that's not the last bit of hype man we're gonna get. And coming up
I
next,
guarantee you, Florio, I don't think this is the last you're gonna see of the hype man for tonight.
Nope.
Oh no, especially with what we got coming up next here, what we're about to get into here. Oh, we're just scratching the surface. Here we go. The phenomenal AJ Styles goes one-on-one with the Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion Kevin Owens in a non-title match. This was a return match from last Thursday's SmackDown. The winner of the match in, get this, 19 minutes and 25 seconds, it was the Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion Kevin Owens with a roll-up. Yes, the dreaded roll-up of doom strikes again, following a distraction by Chris Jericho. So, and Michael Bullock, the luck of the draw smiles on you for a change, my friend. So, Phenom, you get to start it off. Your thoughts on Kevin Owens and AJ Styles. I'm just going to speak on behalf of all of us. This was the fight of the night. Am I not right?
Yeah, damn right, Florio. This was indeed the fight of the night, without a shadow of a doubt. I'm gonna go 4.25 to 4.5 stars as my rating for the match. I watched it when I got home, and this was just awesome. I mean the body of work of both of these men was just awesome in this match, and this was definitely better than the match that they had on SmackDown. And I'll tell you what, I mean, if you put these two on a pay-per-view or a WWE Network special, you're looking at maybe a 5-star classic with these two. But even with this, I mean, even with the roll up, I mean, I know it hurts a little bit, but still, this was just a damn good match between these two, and yeah, and then Kevin Owens basically calls. I mean, he's on the mic, and then basically, um, you had Dolph Ziggler come out, you had Sami Zayn come out, you had The Miz come out, and then all of them say they want a shot at Kevin Owens' Intercontinental Championship. Well, they would announce that a triple threat match would determine who would face Kevin Owens at WrestleMania for the Intercontinental title. What would be the end result? You're gonna have to wait and find out later on in this edition of the Wrestling Forum. But either way, this was an awesome match. 4.25 to 4.5 stars. Even with that, the dreaded roll-up of Doom, I still was. This was just awesome, and I would have to say it right now. I would just say it's probably a contender for, well, somewhere in the top 10 for fights of the year. So I'm not in the top 5, but in the top 10, in my honest opinion. So Fletcher, I give it to you.
Okay, first off, Michael Bullock, I'm going to give it 4.5 to 4.75. This had 5-star rating written all over it if it wasn't for the ending. If it wasn't for the Jericho interference and the roll-up of Doom, we had 5 stars written all over it. I mean, this fight was absolutely amazing. We almost had a 5-star fight. Michael Bullock, I can actually disagree with you about one thing. To me, at least for now, this is the TV fight of the year for me. I mean,
I agree with you on that, Fletcher.
I think we can agree. For WWE, this is the fight of the year, at least for TV. And actually, you can call this the overall TV fight of the year. I think this actually did better. And Anthony, I know I probably might get a minor disagreement, but I think they just beat the Wolves and Beer Money from TNA for the TV fight of the year. I think they just beat them. So, without a doubt, this was definitely WWE's TV fight of the year right now. As far as overall fight of the year, I could probably put it in the top 5 right now. I mean, it is definitely top 5 worthy. I don't know if it's the fight of the year, but, I mean, it definitely is worthy enough. This was an amazing match, and it blew the doors off everything. I mean, like I said, the psychology was great, the ring generalship was great, and it was such a good fight. The fans were in it in Philadelphia. This is what you wanted it to see. And we knew when we heard AJ and Owens was going to go at it again, we're like, okay, hopefully they give them more time. Hopefully they give us a great quality fight. And the next thing we know, not only did we get a quality fight, like I said, we almost were sitting on a 5-star classic. I mean, the time was there. The body of work was perfect. If it would have ended in a clean finish, forget this. This would have been 5-star classic fight, and we would have been going bonkers. But because of the fact that Jericho showed up and kind of distracted AJ Styles, and then you had the roll-up of Doom, I had to take a couple, just a smidge points off, because if it wasn't for that, this was 5 stars. And well, I won't say and then some, but it definitely would have gotten the 5-star rating. So 4.5 to 4.75. Yes, it's the fight of the night. For me, it is WWE's TV fight of the year, and this was everything we were hoping for and then some. Florio, it's yours.
Yeah, I'm gonna make it unanimous. Absolutely, fight of the night. To me, it's I'm leaning more towards Bullock's rating on this. 4.25 to 4.5 stars. This was indeed the fight of the night. This was absolutely phenomenal. I mean, from the moment the bell sounded to the end of the match, bell to bell, the action was just absolutely amazing. The body of work was incredible. The match was fantastic. I mean, two IWC darlings in one of the biggest IWC hotspots, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Oh my lord! I mean, this was unbelievable. I mean, and Fletch, you're absolutely right. I mean, I would have gone higher with my rating, but the Jericho interference and that flip and roll up of doom. Ugh. Only a Dinkelberg, which I consider one of the biggest Dinkelberg moves there is. I mean, if this had been a more decisive win by Kevin Owens, like via the pop-up powerbomb or something like that, then maybe we would have been talking 5-star classic, the first one on a Monday Night Raw in a long time. I can't remember the last time we could say we saw a 5-star match on Monday Night Raw. I think it was that, well, in my opinion anyways, that Cena-Cesaro U.S. Open Challenge last summer in Chicago. Oh, man, did they tear the house down. I mean, that was a 5-star in my opinion. I mean, that match got over 30 minutes, for goodness sakes. So, and this one almost got 20 on a Monday Night Raw. It's not often we get 20-minute matches on Monday Night Raw nowadays, but boy, howdy, for what we got, man. I mean, and 2 commercial breaks. That definitely is a good omen, that we're in for something special. It's a damn shame we're not going to see these two go at it for the IC title one-on-one, but don't worry. A major announcement is coming when it comes to the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship. Oh, wait till you hear what's going to be coming out of this. So, but 4.25 to 4.5 stars. Fletch, you made a great point. I mean, you talked about it. By a smidge. Yeah, by a smidge. Yeah, it's by a smidge. Yeah, by a smidge, it's definitely better than the previous TV bout of the year, which was, well, definitely you'd have to consider it with the Wolves against Beer Money, that World Tag Team title match from the Impact about a week or two ago. I mean, that blew me away. So, yeah, so that's all there is to say about that. So, as far as overall fight of the year, I mean, you can make the argument. I think as of right now, I think we're in agreement that it was that triple threat from Fastlane with Reigns, Ambrose, and Lesnar. I mean, they tore the house down in Cleveland last month, and of course, you could also make an argument for the Royal Rumble match as well. I mean, that Royal Rumble match, man, despite the predictable outcome, that was one of the best Royal Rumble matches we've seen in 3 years. I mean, after the last two, just absolutely were. Ugh. So. All right, 4.25 to 4.5 stars. Fight of the night, no doubt about it. So, as far as this is concerned, they had a vignette. They showed a vignette with Dean Ambrose in some tavern in Philadelphia, and who shows up out of nowhere? Another one of the greatest hardcore legends of all time, and a guy that I know, Michael Fletcher. And Derek Ferrera. I bet I could hear those two. I swear, Fletch and Derek, I could hear you two guys marking from a mile away when you saw who showed up with Dean Ambrose in that tavern in Philly. None other than the original hardcore legend himself, Terry Funk. Yes, Chainsaw Charlie. Yes, he was there. And he gave a chainsaw. I'm pretty sure it was the same exact chainsaw that... Whoa, what do we have here? Michael Fletcher has reported some breaking news here. Wyatt family member Luke Harper has been injured in a Monday Night Raw dark fight. It was an 8-man tag team match. All 4 members of the Wyatt family against Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, Dolph Ziggler, and Sami Zayn. Fletch, you want to shed more light on this?
Okay, what I'm getting is this is actually from the 434, an internet website. They have a reporter down in Philadelphia right now. They're reporting this. This is what I'm getting right now. Breaking news: Luke Harper appears to have been injured on tonight's Monday Night Raw dark match. It was the Wyatt family versus Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, Sami Zayn, and Dolph Ziggler. It appeared that his knee had buckled as soon as the match got underway. He was wheeled back to the locker room area by trainers. That's all we have as of right now. As soon as I get more on this, I will let you guys know. But apparently, Luke Harper has been injured in Philadelphia tonight during a Monday Night Raw dark fight. So, Anthony, let's go. Let's continue.
All right, and we'll try to monitor this as soon as we get any more news about the injury to Luke Harper of the Wyatt family. So we'll keep an eye on that. So, Yes, Dean Ambrose was in a backstage segment. Well, not really a backstage segment. It was more like a vignette. He was in a tavern in Philadelphia. He was greeted by Terry Funk, the original hardcore legend, and Terry Funk gave him, I'm pretty sure it was, the exact same chainsaw when Terry Funk underwent the Chainsaw Charlie gimmick, a la 1997, 1998, when he and Mick Foley, who was Cactus Jack, when they went up against the New Age Outlaws in that infamous dumpster match at WrestleMania 14 for the Tag Team Championship, which was one of the sleeper fights of the night of that WrestleMania. One of the main reasons why that WrestleMania is definitely one of the greatest of all time, no doubt about it. But so yeah, Ambrose got a chainsaw. So he got Barbie from Mick Foley, and he got the chainsaw from Terry Funk, a la Chainsaw Charlie. So, oh boy, that was pretty awesome. Wouldn't you say? So, all right. Let's of course, they also had a video package chronicling the Shane McMahon and Undertaker Hell in a Cell match with comments from various superstars and legends, which was unbelievable. That's all I can say about that. That video package, just phenomenal, to say the very least. So with all that being said, I just wanted to get those off my chest. We usually don't get into vignettes and backstage stuff and whatever. Now back to the in-ring stuff, which is, there was a match. We had a match with Big E Langston going up against Rusev. Of course, for those of you who may not know, at WrestleMania, we're going to see all 4 members of the League of Nations going up against the 3 members of the New Day in a 4-on-3 handicap match at WrestleMania 32. So that's why, and of course, we're gonna see a lot of these, preview matches, these individual type matchups. That's what we're gonna get a lot of that over the next couple of weeks as we wind down the road to WrestleMania. So just wanted to get that out of the way. So they had a verbal exchange. We don't really have to get into that unless you guys want to get into that. So that was fine for what it was. So but more importantly to the match, it was Big E Langston against Rusev, and the winner of the match in 11 minutes and 10 seconds, it was Big E Langston via the big ending. So I believe it's Michael Fletcher who starts this one off, I believe. So yes, so MF, Cerebral Viper, Big E against Rusev. Your thoughts on the match, and if you want to talk about the verbal exchange beforehand, feel free. You don't have to.
No need for the verbal exchange. I think it's going to be, it's kind of pointless to really go into that. But I will say that this was a very good fight. I was very impressed with this one. I could say about maybe 2.5 stars. I mean, it got 11 minutes of quality fight time. I think there was a commercial along the way in the match. So it actually did pretty good. It served its purpose. The crowd was definitely into it. They're very high on the New Day, definitely. And I thought this was a solid fight, too. So there was not really anything to cool this down. This was actually just a nice filler fight, a decent match that we had. I don't have nothing bad to say about it. I thought everybody played their parts really well. I loved the chaos outside the ring, and it led to something really good. So, no, Big E Langston does get the big victory over Rusev. Nice little placeholder momentum going into their match at WrestleMania. So, no, I think this is a very good match, and I like what I saw. So I got really nothing bad to say. So, Anthony, it's yours.
I think you underscored it a little bit, Fletch, with all due respect. I'm going to be honest with you. I thought this was the second best fight of the night on my end. I'm going to give it between 2.5 to 3 stars. I thought this was a phenomenal match, and definitely far and away the best match of the Big E Rusev series. I mean, you remember those series of matches they had in the summer and fall of 2014. I mean, those were, okay, fine, whatever. But this was a very, very good match. I mean, some great near falls. Definitely had a feel of Shakespearean drama, just like the other match did with AJ and Owens. That definitely had some Shakespearean drama. I forgot to note that as well. And this to me was far and away the second best fight of the night. I mean, usually when we hear that there's a big man match, we're like, oh, geez, big man match. Oh, yeah, this ought to put some butts in the seats and eyes on the screens. Yeah, right. But no, one of the better big man matches I've seen in a while, and credit these two guys for actually putting forth not just a passable match, but a good match too. Sleeper fight of the night, no question about that. So, and it's also the second best fight of the night on my overall review here. So, 2.5 to 3 stars. Well done, guys. And we'll see what happens when the New Day and the League of Nations 4-on-3 handicap match at WrestleMania. Should be interesting. So with all that said, Michael Bullock, your thoughts on Big E and Rusev, the match only.
You know what? I'm actually going to meet you guys halfway, and I'll say I'm going to go 2.25 star. I mean 2 and 3. I'm going to go 2 3/4 of a star as my rating for the match. I mean, I do agree. I mean, I thought this was a really good match. I mean, when I first heard of this, I'm like, yeah, typical big man fight, slow, boring, and no, these two definitely surprised the heck out of me, and they put on a really good match here, and it was definitely worth it. So, yeah, so 2 3/4 of a star is my rating. So, Florio, I say we move on.
All right. Let's see what we got coming up. Well, now it's time for a major highlight of Monday Night Raw, and something that we look forward to every single week. Social Outcast time! Woo! Yeah, Social Outcast. Well, let me just set it up for you anyway. Well, I don't have to set it up because that says it all right there. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the Michael Bullock I Can't Take It face.
Oh,
you love that.
Social Outcast. Ugh.
They're back.
And not better than ever, a la the Eric Bischoff theme song. So, but anywho, well, it actually started with the Big Show. The Big Show comes, well, what really happened is they came back from a commercial break, and what do we see alongside the announce table? The Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal Trophy. Wow. I mean, you can't help but get goosebumps when you look at that. Of course, and it has 2 engravings on it because we have the 2 winners. You know, Cesaro, who won it at WrestleMania 30 in epic fashion, and then last year, of course, it was the Big Show as part of that Authority night from last year. But nonetheless, Big Show comes out and he pays respect. He says some nice words about Andre the Giant. Said Andre the Giant was the greatest giant of all time, and which I think we're all in agreement on that. Yeah, Big Show delivers a promo. He thanks the Philly crowd for always keeping it real. Show said he shoots his mouth off about being the greatest giant of all time. He said he believes it because he has to. But then he said the greatest giant is actually Andre, who was the first and greatest. Show said all of the giants strive to be like Andre, and Show said he wants to become a 2-time winner of the trophy. So enter the Big Show into the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. Social Outcast time. They came out, claimed they won't have any trouble eliminating him from the Battle Royal. Show would then say the only trouble he will have is figuring out which one of them he will knock out first. Outcast enter the ring. Show grabs Heath Slater by the throat. Outcast outnumber him. And then all of a sudden, Hellfire and Brimstone, boys. You know who that means. It's Kane. Demon Kane makes his entrance, clears the Outcast. Show hugged Kane and then yelled, "Kane's the man." And then Show went to the ropes, played the fans. Kane tapped him on the back, and then Kane choke slams the Big Show off the top ropes. So, all right. Okay. Hate to say it, but this was the worst segment of the night. Even though I did like Big Show's promo, though I will admit that. I mean, Big Show's promo, I didn't have any problem with that whatsoever. That was a very good promo by Big Show. One of the better promos he's had in a while. So I'm going to give the Big Show credit for that one, and paying the respect to Andre the Giant. Nice touch. The minute the Social Outcasts come out, that segment went downhill. So. And then, hey, Demon Kane. I mean, it's been forever and a day since we've seen Demon Kane on television. But and then, wow, Kane chokeslamming Big Show off the top ropes. So, and of course, a big announcement was made. as part of our infamous afternoon drive, Michael Bullock informed me of this today. The Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal will take place during the second hour of the WrestleMania kickoff pre-show. Yeah. And not only that, but Michael Bullock also informed me, and this was news to me, and I'm sure this is news to Michael Fletcher. The second hour of that WrestleMania pre-show is actually going to be seen on free television on the USA Network. How about it? That's all I got to say. How about it? So I just wanted to set that up for you. So with all that said, it was the worst segment of the night, even though I enjoyed Big Show's promo, and also that sixth spot with Kane chokeslamming the Big Show. Other than that, anytime you get the Social Outcast involved, well, it all goes downhill, and not in a good way. So Phenom, Michael Bullock, your thoughts on this, and feel free to reiterate that little announcement I just made, because you told me about this during our afternoon drive today.
Yeah, I agree. This was the worst segment of the night, and I mean, the only things I liked was, of course, like you said, the Big Show. I mean, some of the things he said about Andre the Giant, and him Big Show considering Andre is the biggest giant ever, and with that sixth spot from Kane with that choke slam on the Big Show from the top rope, and everything else was yeah, Social Outcast, don't give too you know what's about them. Yes, I did read a dirt sheet. I think it was via the Bleacher Report that as part of the WrestleMania kickoff show, it's going to be on the second hour. It'll be the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, and the second hour is going to be on the USA Network. Are you kidding me? It's going to be on free TV? I mean, wow. I mean, I'm sure everybody's going to be tuned in for that, because remember, USA is, of course, not just home of Monday Night Raw, but also Thursday Night SmackDown. But now you're going to be airing the second hour of the not the Raw pre-show, the WrestleMania kickoff show. Man, that's definitely something. So, worst segment of the night. Fletcher, your thoughts on this?
All right. Well, first off, I want to say for the record, yeah, it was definitely the worst segment of the night, no doubt about it. There's really nothing to really write home about or even talk about in that situation. But I will say this: I liked the fact of how the Big Show acknowledged Andre the Giant, and the way that he showed the love and the respect and the honor of one of the all-time greats in professional wrestling, and his truth, the way he said that, he feels that Andre is, that Andre made us big men, us giants, to strive for something great, and that's absolutely true. I mean, if you talk to any of the big men in WWE, one of the guys they always used to preach and always used to give a lot of love to was Andre the Giant. So I thought the way he came out and talked about Andre, I mean, that was a very glowing and moving promo by Big Show, and I applaud him for that, and I thank the WWE writers for adding that in, because of the fact that at least it gives it that historic sense, that nostalgia factor, because there are a lot of Andre the Giant fans, and a lot of people kind of diminished the believing that this event or this match is kind of diminished because of the fact that it doesn't really propel anybody to any legit greatness in WWE or anything else. Cesaro won it a couple of years ago. Yes, he had a good push, but he got injured. Big Show, what did they do with him after he won the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royale? They really didn't really do anything with Big Show. So a lot of people kind of thought that this award or this match was a secondary thing more than anything else, but at least Big Show made the effort to at least incorporate it for all the people and let them know that, hey, no, this is actually something that you want to strive for. This is actually something legitimate. And at the end of the day, I like the way that they went with it. The story went with it. Now, I don't care about the social outcast. I don't. I hope they get eliminated right away in that battle royale. I think we all can agree on that. Now, with Big Show and Kane, these are two legitimate contenders. These are two legitimate favorites that could win this. And, who knows what they're going to do with some of the other guys at WrestleMania, who they're going to add in. But at the end of the day, I was fine with what they did. Like I said, I thought Big Show did a great job of putting the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royale over. And as far as the match goes, I liked what Kane and Big Show did together, because that actually shows you that, hey, it is every man for himself. They were close friends. They were actually WWE Tag Team Champions, World Tag Team Champions, as a matter of fact, at one time. So, and yeah, they were members of the Authority for a while too. So we'll wait and see what happens. It's definitely going to be very interesting to see how they're going to play that, like I said, at WrestleMania. But until then, Anthony, it's yours.
Yeah, I actually found the dirt sheet. I found the dirt sheet, and it's a this is a press release actually. I'm just gonna mention, I'm not gonna read the whole thing. I'm just gonna mention the highlights of it. It said, for the first time ever, USA Network, exclusive home to WWE's marquee properties, announces expanded access to WrestleMania, WWE's biggest event of the year. Between March 31st and April 7th, the network will feature multiple events, including a live one-hour broadcast of the official WrestleMania kickoff show, a special SmackDown episode with live segments, and a 1 hour, in the water, and of course the watered-down version of the WWE Hall of Fame induction ceremony, and a movie marathon celebrating Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. It's going to start on Thursday, March 31st, the SmackDown, and it says it's going to feature live segments from AT&T Stadium, just days before WrestleMania 32. And then, of course, on April 3rd, of course, like Bullock mentioned, and yes, I can confirm it, USA's live hour of the WrestleMania kickoff show will start at 6 o'clock and will include the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal featuring 20 superstars. And then leading in and out of the live kickoff show, USA Network will celebrate with a movie marathon featuring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, with films including The Rundown, Faster, Fast 5, and G.I. Joe Battalion. And then, of course, the following night on Monday Night Raw, you already know that story. Thursday, April 7th, of course, is SmackDown. And then immediately following SmackDown, the USA Network will have their watered-down 1 hour encore presentation of the WWE Hall of Fame induction ceremony. So, and that's it. So that's pretty much all the schematics you need to know about the expanded access to WrestleMania. So before we move on to our next match, we're going to acknowledge the newest inductee into the WWE Hall of Fame. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Stan Hansen. Yes, Stan Hansen is the newest inductee into the WWE Hall of Fame class of 2016. Debuted on New Year's Day, 1973. Retired on January 28th of 2001. Trained by the Funks. He was trained, by three generations. Trained by Dory Funk Sr., Dory Funk Jr., and even Terry Funk. 6'4", 321-pounder. He made his debut for the Worldwide Wrestling Federation in 1976. Had a feud with Bruno Sammartino over the title. Also had memorable feuds with Pedro Morales and Andre the Giant, and even Bob Backlund. Wrestled for the AWA, New Japan Pro Wrestling, where he may have had his biggest success. All Japan Pro Wrestling, WCW. Had a feud with Lex Luger, and also went back to All Japan Pro Wrestling. So and then he retired January 28th of 2001. So and he also had a small role in the infamous No Holds Barred movie, which starred Hulk Hogan. So he played Neanderthal in that movie. So Stan the Lariat Hansen, All Japan Pro Wrestling, he did it all. NWA International Heavyweight Champion, International Tag Champion, United National Champion, a PWF World Heavyweight Champion on 4 occasions, 4-time co-holder of the PWF World Tag Team titles, twice with Ted DiBiase, once with Bruiser Brody, and once with Austin Idol, 4-time Triple Crown Heavyweight Champion, 8-time World Tag Team Champion, 3 times with Tenaru, you remember Tenaru, Terry Gordy of the Freebirds, Dan Spivey 1 time, Ted DiBiase 1 time, Gary Albright, Champion Carnival in 92 and 93, World's Strongest Tag Determination League, 83 with Bruiser Brody, 85 with DiBiase, 88 with Gordy, and 89 with Tenaru. And then January 2nd of 94, the Korakuen Hall Heavyweight Battle Royal. Former AWA Heavyweight Champion on 1 occasion. Inducted into the Cauliflower Alley Club in 96. CWA International Heavyweight Champion as part of the Continental Wrestling Association. Georgia Championship Wrestling was an NWA Columbus Heavyweight Champion on 1 time. 2-time Georgia Heavyweight Champion. And a 3-time NWA Georgia Tag Team Champion, 2 times with Tommy Rich, and 1 with legendary Horseman Ole Anderson. Mid-Atlantic / WCW, a United States Heavyweight Champion. And get this, guys, he actually beat Lex Luger for that title, and he ended a very long reign for Lex Luger. Luger held the title for 523 days, right around 90 or 91, and Hansen ended the reign. So there you go. And a World Tag Team Champion with Ole Anderson, NWA Texas Tag Team Champion with Killer Tim Brooks, NWA Texas Heavyweight Champion, NWA North American Heavyweight Champion, and NWA Tri-State, and a U.S. Tag Team Champion 2 times with Frank Goodish, NWF Heavyweight Champion, that's the National Wrestling Federation, inducted into the Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame and Museum in 2010, PWI Match of the Year in 76 against Bruno Sammartino on June 25th, 1976 Most Hated Wrestler of the Year, ranked number 24 of the top 500 singles wrestlers in the PWI 500 in 91, ranked number 16 of the top 500 singles of the PWI years in 03, and ranked number 7, 24, 34, and 66 of the top 100 tag teams of the PWI years with Bruiser Brody, Ted DiBiase, Terry Gordy, and Ole Anderson, respectively, in 03. 2014 was inducted into the Texas Wrestling Hall of Fame, Tokyo Sports, Best Bout Award against Toshiaki Kawada, June 5th of 92, Best Tag Team in 98 with Vader, Lifetime Achievement Award in 2000, Match of the Year Award in 82 against Giant Baba on February 4, Match of the Year in 88 against Tenaru, that was on July 27th, Outstanding Foreigner Award in 82, and also won a Popularity Award in 1980. And then Wrestling Observer Newsletter, a 5-star match with Bruiser Brody against Dory and Terry Funk on December 8th. On the day Michael Bullock was actually born. Get this. December the 8th of 1984. Does that day sound familiar to you, Bullock? Yeah, that's your birthday. A 5-star match, Stan Hansen and Bruiser Brody against Dory and Terry Funk, as Michael Bullock was coming into the world. Go figure. That's freaking awesome. 5-star match in 1988, Hansen and Terry Gordy against Tenaru and Kawada, December 16th. 5-star match against Kenta Kobashi on July 29th of 93. A Best Brawler Award in 85 and 90. Tag Team of the Year in 1982 with Ole Anderson. Inducted into the Wrestling Observer Newsletter Hall of Fame in 96. And last but not least, WWE Hall of Fame, class of 2016. Man, that read like a who's who. But and also JBL even said it on commentary that Stan Hansen was one of his idols. So it doesn't surprise me in the least. He said that the Clothesline from Hell was actually inspired by Stan Hansen. So you wonder why we got to see the Clothesline from Hell. Well, we can all thank Stan Hansen for that. That's why we got to enjoy that Clothesline from Hell for so many years, whether it was with the APA or as JBL. So well done. So on behalf of all of us here at the Wrestling Forum, we congratulate Stan the Lariat Hansen, the newest inductee into the WWE Hall of Fame class of 2016, joining Sting, the Godfather, the Fabulous Freebirds, the Big Boss Man, and Jacqueline Moore. Will there be any more inductees, or is this the class? Now, I have heard rumors about Regis Philbin possibly going in as the celebrity inductee. Like I said, it would make sense because, he had all the wrestlers on his show, and he was doing Regis and Kelly and Kathy Lee and all that. So I hope he does. I mean, it would be awesome for him. I mean, but we'll see. We still have 1 week to go. So congratulations, Stan Hansen. Bullock, Fletch. If you guys want to, share your respects for Mr. Hansen going into the Hall of Fame, feel free.
Yeah,
Well,
well, to me, I don't really know him that much, so I'm just gonna send my congratulations to him on getting to the Hall of Fame.
yeah, I'm actually with Michael Bullock here. This is a kind of one a little bit outside of the realm. For me, this is outside of the wheelhouse, as we would normally would say. But I will say this: that this is an amazing moment, and this is a great thing for him. Um, you know, it's always awesome when somebody's going into the Hall of Fame and he deserves it. The body of work, especially his contributions to All Japan Pro Wrestling. And let me tell you, everybody talks about, Wrestle Kingdom and Super Show and everything else. But I will say this, the second biggest event for All Japan or even New Japan Pro Wrestling, Anthony, and you alluded to it, was that second show, the one that was let me see if I can try to recover that show quickly.
Which is it? Is it New Japan or All Japan?
It's All Japan, but it was when you were talking about the Taichung Hall, the Battle Royale.
The Kokuon Hall, yeah.
The Kokuon Hall, because normally after when New Japan Pro Wrestling has their first event, which is their Wrestle Kingdom, they do that in the Tokyo Dome. That's like their biggest WrestleMania event. Their second biggest event of the year is the Kashuan Hall show, which is the next night. And that show is just as chaotic, even more crazier, because in this year's Kashuan Hall show, that was when they turned their backs on AJ Styles. AJ got betrayed by the Bullet Club on Kashuan Hall this year. So, I mean, anything can happen. But there's nothing more to say. And like you said, he was the reason why the Clothesline from Hell was created. And not only that, but he had one of the greatest managers backing him up back in the day. He was managed by Classy Freddie Blassie, man. I mean, that's, you want to talk about legends of the game? Yeah, he was he had a small role in Knowles Bard, but the guy is a great gentleman. He's a father of four. I wish him nothing but the best. And as a matter of fact, if you go to his Wikipedia site, there's actually some good, interesting stuff to let you know that let me see. He has a son and a daughter, John and Elizabeth, from the first marriage. He had two more kids. Shire, who actually plays baseball for the University of Baylor, was drafted by the Seattle Mariners in the second pick in the 6th round of the 2009 entry draft. And he has a younger son, Samuel, who also plays for baseball and actually played for the University of Texas in Arlington. So, I mean, there's definitely some wrestling blood there's some athletic genes in that family. But I will say this: congratulations and welcome to the WWE Hall of Fame. Nothing more to say. Stan Hansen, I salute you, my friend. Congratulations. Anthony, I give it to you.
Yes, and yeah, I'm not surprised you guys don't know much about Stan Hansen. I know a little bit about him, me being the old school wrestling aficionado that I am. He actually is one of many few guys who can say, hey, I body slammed Andre the Giant. Yes, he did it. Hogan wasn't the only one. He did it too. And also, the Ultimate Warrior did it as well. I told Bullock this during our afternoon drive today. I told him that the Ultimate Warrior, there's video of him. There's a video on YouTube of the Ultimate Warrior actually body slamming Andre the Giant. I believe it was in Madison Square Garden. I could be wrong, but it's there. Trust me. So But Stan the Lariat Hansen going into the Hall. We don't know if this is it for the class of 2016 or if they're going to announce one more inductee. I mean, usually they have a celebrity inductee, and if they do, then the heavily rumored name for that is, of course, Regis Philbin. So I'm really hoping for that because we all love Regis here. So Stan Hansen, congratulations going into the Hall of Fame. So there you go. And by the way, it was 1990's Halloween Havoc when Stan Hansen ended Lex Luger's record-setting United States heavyweight title reign at 523 days. Very impressive, to say the very least. And really,
Anthony, I hate to jump in on this, but I just got some more report about the injury of Luke Harper.
Yes.
Preliminary results right now by WWE staff, and there's a backstage source right now that's reporting. Now, this is not confirmed, so let's take everything with a grain of salt right now. But the rumor going around is Luke Harper might have suffered a torn ACL. That's the rumor that we're getting right now. The rumor coming out of Philadelphia that, just to reiterate the story from earlier tonight, Luke Harper suffered a knee injury during the dark match after the episode of Monday Night Raw went off the air in Philadelphia. It was an 8-man tag team match. Harper started the match but fell as soon as he started and went and rolled outside the ring holding his knee. He was checked by the trainers and helped to the back. A source backstage is telling us that the belief is that he has suffered a torn ACL that would keep him that would put him on the shelf for several months. So according to this is a backstage source in Philadelphia, probably not affiliated with WWE, but they're reporting that Luke Harper has just suffered a torn ACL.
Wow. Just like Seth Rollins did back in November. My goodness. But wow, that's devastating news, especially for the Wyatt family and for Luke Harper as well. I mean, another injury. I mean, goodness gracious. I mean, these guys are dropping like flies. I mean, you know, we heard about a week ago. We heard about Adrian Neville. Adrian Neville suffering a fractured ankle, and he's going to be out for about 2 or 3 months from what I heard, so he's out of Mania. So for all intents and purposes, it looks like Luke Harper is going to be out of Mania too. And you feel for that, because why do we feel for these guys who have to miss Mania due to injury? Do I even need to remind you folks about the payday that these superstars and divas get at WrestleMania if you're on the card? Do you know how massive that payday is? Hello? I don't think I have to remind you folks how big it is. And it's a damn shame that a lot of these folks are going to have to miss out on it, including John Cena, including Seth Rollins, including Randy Orton, and of course now, and Cesaro, and Adrian Neville, and now Luke Harper. Of course, Daniel Bryan's retired, so, oh my Lord in heaven. I mean, these injuries, guys, these injuries. Ugh. But nonetheless, we got to move on here. Show must go on here, and that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to get back into this now. We had a WrestleMania Rewind match. Not much of a rewind. It was only a 3-year rewind. We went back in time to 2013, WrestleMania 29. It was Fandango going up against Chris Jericho. You remember at WrestleMania, Fandango pulled off one of the biggest upsets in WrestleMania history when he beat Chris Jericho. Not this time. Chris Jericho wins it in 2 minutes and 15 seconds via the Codebreaker, despite a distraction from AJ Styles. And AJ Styles, of course, challenging Chris Jericho to a match at WrestleMania. So, oh man alive. So, I believe, I think I started off that, Andre. I think I started off that Big Show Social Outcast.
Yeah, it's my turn.
Yeah, Michael Bullock. So, all right, Michael Bullock, your thoughts on this WrestleMania Rewind match with Jericho and Fandango and the post match with AJ Styles?
Well, unfortunately, this match here it's not as good as the one that they had at WrestleMania 29. So, yeah, I hate to say this, but this was an absolute dud. This to me was one of the worst fights of the night. it's a damn shame that a Jericho match has to be a dud, because normally he would put on really good matches, but this one here, not so much. And AJ Styles coming out and basically challenging Chris Jericho to a match at WrestleMania. So, yeah, you put these two on there, that's got a potential to be one of the top fights of the night. So, match was a dud. Fletcher, it's yours.
Yeah, there's really nothing more to say. Dud, one of the worst fights of the night. Florio, go.
I know I'm going to be generous here, but I'm going to give it between 0.5 to 1. I mean, because, there actually was a little bit of some decent action here. Not a whole lot, but there actually was that little bit, that teeny tiny bit of Shakespearean drama there when AJ came out, and then Fandango went for that small package, which was the exact way he beat Jericho at WrestleMania 29. But I kind of thought that they were going to have Fandango go over via the distraction by AJ after what Jericho did with AJ against Kevin Owens. But we have every right to call it a dud. But to me, I'm going to give it between 0.5 to 1. I know I'm being generous, but I didn't think it was all that bad. So, but I do agree it is one of the worst fights of the night. So, and then they had more about and then they did another video package of for Shane and The Undertaker with comments from Pat Patterson. Renzo Gracie is actually training Shane McMahon for this fight. So, yeah, that's a big deal. And Ajon Phil Nurse is also working with Shane O'Mac as well, and seeing Shane O'Mac training for that fight against The Undertaker. My goodness. But all right. Now, as far as this is concerned, we thought we were going to see a triple threat match with Dolph Ziggler versus The Miz versus Sami Zayn, with the winner going on to WrestleMania to face Kevin Owens for the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship. No, Kevin Owens pulled the rug out from under us because we got a triple threat match, but it was not Ziggler, Miz, and Zayn. It was Stardust versus Sin Cara versus Zack Ryder, with Kevin Owens serving as a ring announcer and then joining the guys on commentary. It ends in a no contest in 3 minutes and 50 seconds. But wait, there's more. Ziggler, Miz, Zayn, Stardust, Sin Cara, and Ryder all fight off Kevin Owens. And then it leads to a backstage segment where Kevin Owens complains to Stephanie McMahon about getting attacked by what he calls 6 maniacs. And then Stephanie McMahon, being in her $1 billion princess mode, well, not everybody is safe from the $1 billion princess mode, not even Kevin Owens, who is, as we all know, somewhat of an authority sympathizer. But Stephanie McMahon makes the announcement that at WrestleMania, Kevin Owens is going to defend the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship, just like Barrett did a year ago, in a 7-man ladder match. And it is as follows. Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn versus Dolph Ziggler versus The Miz versus Stardust versus Sin Cara, and yes, Michael Fletcher, your man, the leader of the Ryder Revolution himself, Zack Ryder, is going to get a WrestleMania moment. And it's only fitting, Michael Fletcher, Cerebral Viper, that you start off on this. So I already know the fight's probably going to be in NA, but your thoughts on the big match for WrestleMania?
I'm shocked. I'm shocked at the 7 guys that they put in. Okay, wait a minute. Okay. Ziggler, Miz, Sami Zayn. Those guys, I got no beef, no problem. They deserve it. But Sin Cara, Stardust, and Zack Ryder. The IWC went absolutely ballistic over this, and they're not happy with those 3 getting in. They're like, wait a minute. Out of all the guys in WWE, these were the ones that you decided to put into this fight? Really? Look, I'm going to say this. What's happening is so bad, and the roster is so depleted that they literally had to scrape the bottom of the barrel to get some guys on the big show. I mean, that's as desperate as they're getting, and it's bad. But, it is what it is. And I'm so happy for Zack Ryder because for the first time since WrestleMania 28, guys, he's back at WrestleMania. For Stardust, he makes another appearance in WrestleMania. He's been here many times. So has for The Miz, he even preached about it. He was in the main event of WrestleMania 27. And now he's back on the big show. Dolph Ziggler, he's a mainstay of WrestleMania. No, nothing bad about that. But get a load of this. How awesome is it for them to know if you're Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, you guys now have a marquee fight because this is going to be one of the top fights of the night. And you now are in, I'll probably go as far to say one of the big 4 fights of WrestleMania. Actually, one of the top 5 fights of WrestleMania. Because it's Roman and Triple H, Taker and Shane, Hell in a Cell, Ambrose and Lesnar in the No Holds Barred Street Fight, the triple threat for the Divas title with Charlotte, Becky, and Sasha. This is fight number 5. This has to be number 5 in that totem pole of the top fights of the night. If you're any of those 7 guys, you're thinking the lucky stars. And especially for Zack Ryder, you must be like, oh my God, I made it. Like, the Ryder Revolution is now back in WrestleMania. And Anthony, you said it. The paydays that these 7 men are going to get now that they know that they're on the card for WrestleMania. And that's the biggest thing. It's not that they're on a pre-show fight. They're on WrestleMania. It don't get no bigger than this. For some, it's just, glad to be here. For others, this is a big moment. And yes, Anthony, that's true. I'm in a match at WrestleMania. This is too much, bro. Well, let's say it. He must have did something right, or the stars aligned in such a perfect harmony that, yes, like I said, for the first time since WrestleMania 28, Zack Ryder is going to be in a match at WrestleMania. I don't even know what to say right now. I don't even know what to say because, like I said, I was a fan of the Ryder Revolution. I jumped on that bandwagon and I ran that sucker all the way through when he was a member of when he was the Long Island IZ. He was the internet champion. He won the United States Heavyweight Championship, and we were going nuts. We
had fun with that.
We were riding high on it.
Yes, we did.
And now, 3 years later, he kind of fell off the map. A lot of people were thinking, "Oh my God, he's probably gonna get fired," but he stuck around. He was still on, main event, still on some other fights, and now he's back at WrestleMania. Man, for once I'm speechless. The Cerebral Viper's speechless. I can't believe it. I just go, Florio. Go. It's yours.
It's not often the Cerebral Viper is speechless, but he is, folks. Wow. Okay. I'll say it like this. Fights in NA, obviously, but say what you want about Stephanie McMahon, but she gave us one hell of a payday here, boys. 7-man ladder match for the second year in a row for the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship. Stardust, the only returning entrant. The other 6 are new to the fight. You remember last year it was Daniel Bryan that was in it, who ultimately won it. Barrett was in it. Dean Ambrose, Luke Harper. Stardust was in that, I think, and then there were 2 other guys. I forgot. R-Truth was in it, I believe, and then there was one other guy. I forgot who it was, but nonetheless, Kevin Owens, Dolph Ziggler, Sami Zayn, The Miz, Stardust, Sin Cara, Zack Ryder. Yeah, Zack Ryder getting his first WrestleMania match since WrestleMania 28, like Fletcher said, that infamous 12-man tag team match with Team John Laurinaitis against Team Teddy Long. With Team John Laurinaitis won, and Zack Ryder, I believe, was the one who was pinned in that match by The Miz via the skull-crushing finale. We thought that fight was going to be a disaster, but that fight ended up being actually not as bad as we thought. I mean, it was the sleeper fight of the night at WrestleMania 28. Go figure. But nonetheless, great for Zack Ryder, no doubt about it. And I did not create that meme. That was another fan who created it. So. But I wanted to share it. I mean, the minute Fletcher talked about that, I'm like, yeah, I got to see if Mimi Gene had something to say about it. And yep, they did. Zack Ryder, and he saw it. It said, "I'm in a match at WrestleMania. This is too much, bro." Yeah. We know he's not going to win, but heaven forbid if he were to win that. Oh my goodness, that would be far and away that would be even bigger than when he beats Ziggler for the U.S. Heavyweight title at TLC 2011. And Fletcher and I were together, and I remember Fletch absolutely losing his mind when Ryder won that title. Oh my God. Oh, I mean, my ears haven't stopped ringing since. But no, I'm kidding. But still, but that's all there is to it. I mean, Fletch was just doing the Vince McMahon on commentary. Yes, 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 yes. When Ryder got that fall, I'll never forget it. I remember like it was just yesterday. But nonetheless, it's an NA for the fight. But man, oh man, 7-man ladder match, IC title at WrestleMania. Are we looking at a new concept here, boys? Are we looking at a second, like a reincarnation, like almost like a second coming of the Money in the Bank ladder match? Only this time it's for the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship. Is this going to become a new tradition at Mania, like Andre's Battle Royal? I think we might be. Just saying. Early projection is I think we're going to have a new champion. I think it's going to be Sami Zayn. I got this feeling it's going to be Sami Zayn. So with all that being said, Michael Bullock, how do you follow this? Your thoughts on the match and as well as the announcement, big announcement, Stephanie, if you will.
Yeah, match was an NA, but man, I really like this 7-man ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship for the second straight year. And like you said, Stardust returning, and I mean, I still can't believe Zack Ryder is actually in it. But yeah, he's on the card for WrestleMania. I like that, and Sin Cara. It's going to be interesting to see what happens when he's in it. And Sami Zayn, Dolph Ziggler, and The Miz. Yeah, that could be a really good match there. And I do agree. I think Sami Zayn's going to walk out the new Intercontinental Champion, but we'll have to wait and see. So, yeah, the fight was an NA, but I really like this ladder match for WrestleMania. So with that being said, Florio, let's move on.
And then, of course, it was a backstage moment with Roman Reigns attacking Triple H, arriving in the SUV there. Nice hype for that fight. So now we move on to, well, boys, are you ready for some Hot Divas action? Well, here you go. We had Charlotte, the Divas champion, in a non-title match against Natalya. Winner of the match in 4 minutes and 45 seconds. It was Charlotte via the natural selection for the win. Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks were on commentary during the fight, so I'm just going to leave it at that. To me, this was the third best fight of the night, far and away. Solid 2 stars for the effort. I mean, 2 to 2. Well, I'm going to make that between 2 to 2.25 stars because I thought this was a very good Divas match. I mean, Charlotte and Natalya always work well together. I mean, you remember that match when they met in the finals of that women's title tournament a couple of years ago? That Charlotte had Ric Flair with her, and Natalia had her Uncle Bret with her, which was awesome to say the very least, to see Bret Hart and Ric Flair at ringside. But that's always going to be the best match those two ever had. Second best match was the Roadblock match last Saturday night. I mean, that was a very good match too. That was a 3-star fight, easy. This here, 2 stars for this near 5-minute bout. Not at all surprised Charlotte went over. You want to give her momentum going into that triple threat at WrestleMania. And then Sasha and Becky on commentary. Freaking awesome. I thought they both came out great on that. So the excitement level for that Divas fight at WrestleMania, like I said, it's definitely sky high for me, because I still think it has the potential to possibly go down as maybe the greatest women's title match, women's/Divas title match in the history of WrestleMania. Mickey and Trish hold the bar for now. But if Charlotte, Sasha, and Becky get the time and they book it correctly and we don't have any shenanigans or whatsoever, Mickey and Trish could get overtaken. I'm just saying. 2 to 2.25 stars, third best fight of the night. Michael Bullock, Phenom, your thoughts on this Charlotte-Natalia Divas bout?
Yeah, I do agree. I'm going to say 2 to 2.25 stars on this match. I mean, yeah, I thought these two put on a really good match, and of course, who could ever forget the match that these two had at that first NXT Takeover special? That was pretty awesome between those two. Of course, especially when you had Ric Flair in the corner of Charlotte, and of course Anthony's all-time favorite, Bret the Hitman Hart, was in the corner of Natalia. So, I mean, and I also like the commentary with Sasha Banks and Becky Lynch, and this really has the makings of a really good triple threat match for the Divas title. So 2 to 2.25 stars for the effort here. So, Fletcher, I give it to you.
Yeah, I could say about 2.25, no doubt about it. It was all good. I got nothing bad to say about it. It was just a great situation. Good match. Commentary was fine for what it was worth. I thought they did a very good job, and there was really nothing else to say about it. It was definitely solid by definitely by Charlotte, and especially um, solid by Natalia, and they did really good. They handled their business they had to handle. I was very happy with the performance. Nothing bad to say about it. Let's just go on.
All right. Let's see. Okay. All right. Now, unfortunately, we have to move on to another meh fight here. We had Bubba Ray Dudley going one-on-one with R-Truth. Bubba Ray Dudley wins it in 2 minutes and 5 seconds via a big boot. So, unfortunately, I believe Bullock has to start this one off. Luck of the draw does not smile on him for a change after it did earlier with the AJ and Owens fight. So, Bullock, feel free to do another I Can't Take It face if you like. So, Bubba and R-Truth, your thoughts on this? Oh, yeah, this ought to be good.
Yeah, right. Well, first, there it is.
Twice in the same show. I love it.
Yeah, you never would have thought you would get it twice on the same show, but
I call for the hat trick. I'm calling for a hat trick. Come on, Bullock. There has to be another moment where it'll happen.
well, will it happen? You'll have to wait and find out. So, yeah, I'm just gonna leave it at that. So, yeah, this was an absolute dud. This was another one of the worst fights tonight. This is one I could basically give two craps about. So, Fletcher, it's yours. I'm just moving on.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Nothing to really speak about. The only thing that they did was you had a run in by the Usos. You had a run in by Goldust to try to save R-Truth because they want to make that Golden Truth a team a reality. Other than that, nothing more to say. It is what it is. Florio, go.
Yeah, this to me was an absolute dud. This was the worst fight of the night as far as I'm concerned. I mean, yeah, I'm not even gonna dignify this with a response. Usos would show up, Goldust would show up. So yeah, Usos and the Dudleys meet at WrestleMania. Who knows? Maybe tables could be involved. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe they tweak that thing a bit. We'll see. I don't know, but nonetheless, absolute dud. This was the worst fight of the night. So now we're gonna move on to and here the luck of the draw smiles on Michael Fletcher for a change because he gets to lead off on something really interesting. A highly anticipated segment here, a big announcement from Vince McMahon regarding the Hell in a Cell match between Shane McMahon and The Undertaker at WrestleMania. Vince, cuts his usual promo, yada yada and whatnot. But the announcement was made. I'm just going to leave it at this before I throw it to Michael Fletcher. Vince says that if The Undertaker fails to beat Shane McMahon at WrestleMania, then this WrestleMania will be The Undertaker's last. Michael Fletcher, hit us with that hype man mode one time.
I don't think I really need to hype man this. I don't think you really need any more hype man on this. It pretty much is a clear indicator what happens if Taker loses at WrestleMania. If Taker loses, his career ends. He will be gone from WWE. If Shane wins, he controls Monday Night Raw, and all attempted purposes, he controls the WWE. You don't need me to hype this fight. This fight just got more serious and more prevalent than ever before. For me to even add anything to this, I'd be doing an injustice. So all you need to know is this. The two, what was at one time an unknown, what we were going to witness at WrestleMania. And now we went from an unknown to one of the most serious, highly anticipated, and I truly believe now in my heart of hearts is going to be the main event of WrestleMania. That's right, I'm making the bold prediction right now. I think the Hell in a Cell is gonna close the show. This fight, this match in Satan's Playground has taken a life of its own, unlike anything we have ever seen in professional wrestling, and we probably will never see again. Shane McMahon, the prodigal son of Stamford, Connecticut, now 40-something years old, 45, 46 years old. He's got a wife and 3 kids. The Undertaker, Houston's own, Texas own, 51, married with 1 daughter. These 2 parallel universes are about to collide. Taker's been in the game for over 25 years, now about 26 now. Shane's been in the company since the day he's been born. It is the ultimate battle now, because we have two men whose basically their careers are on the line, their livelihoods are on the line, because Vince and Kennedy McMahon threw that big nuclear bomb on all of us here tonight in Philadelphia. Now the match at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas is gonna be, without a shadow of a doubt, the biggest match of not only its two generational type wrestlers that's gonna get it on. One is only gonna survive. Is it gonna be The Undertaker? Is he gonna get his 23rd victory at WrestleMania? To go 23-1. Shane loses everything. He loses his trust. He loses the fact that he could run the WWE. He would practically be on the out. That dowry that is hanging over Vince's head will be in the possession of Mr. McMahon. What's that dowry about? What is that thing that Shane has over Vince? That Vince is so hell-bent to get it back. Because it's definitely not about money. There's some kind of leverage, some kind of power. We don't know what it is until maybe after the fact, if Shane does lose. Then we'll find out then. On the flip side, there's The Undertaker. First ballot Hall of Famer, guaranteed. Multi-time world champion. One of the greatest men in professional wrestling history. Hell, he's the hero of Michael Bullock. Michael Bullock made himself known as the Phenom because of his love for The Undertaker. The one thing is for sure, if Taker loses this fight, his career is over. And how ironic will it be? Think about this, gentlemen. WrestleMania 24, it was, in all attempted purposes, Ric Flair was forced out of the game by Shawn Michaels. Take it 4 years later, it was Shawn Michaels' career that ended at WrestleMania 2026, 2 years later. Apropos, ended by The Undertaker. How crazy would it be that at this WrestleMania, the WrestleMania where The Undertaker has claimed so many victims in his path, that is the event of all events where the legend of The Undertaker dies in his signature fight, Hell in a Cell, in front of over 100,000 possibly in AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. I think I left everybody speechless. There's really nothing for me to add. 12 nights. And get ready. Because when that sadistic cell comes down and engulfs that entire ring, what is gonna be that lasting image we're going to have at WrestleMania? What is going to be that one moment that's going to signify that event for myself, for Anthony, for Michael Bullock, for Derek Ferrero, who's going to be with us that night on the recap and throughout WrestleMania week, and for everybody else, from superfans alike, Megan Silva, Bill McConnell, Dee Dee Woodson, Jason Hezebog, Daniel Luttrell, who's from the UK. What's going to be our lasting image of WrestleMania? Like Derek Ferrera would always like to say, 12 nights just can't come soon enough. Anthony Florio, it's all yours. How do you follow that?
I don't know how. I can't. I'm not even gonna try. But I have to, because I run the show. So, you say you didn't need to go hype man? You just went hype man. Goodness, that was 5 stars, Michael Fletcher. I can honestly say that was the greatest. I think we just had the greatest moment in Wrestling Forum history, courtesy of the Cerebral Viper, Michael Fletcher. That was 5 stars and then some. Shakespearean drama at its finest. Well done, sir. Well done. And I'm being serious about that. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I really do. Oh, God bless you, Michael Fletcher. How do I follow that? Well, let me see how I can. Fletcher just pretty much said it all. I mean, well, it's the ultimate something has to give match. And Michael Bullock, when we get to you, we even talked about this when we had our very brief Raw chat tonight. And I do mean brief. Michael Bullock's in the ultimate no-win situation here. No matter what happens, Bullock loses.
You think?
You lose no matter what, man. Because you want Shane McMahon to run Monday Night Raw. But at the same time, you want the career and the legacy of your idol, of your hero, the Phenom, The Undertaker, to continue and basically live on forever and ever and ever. Amen. That's basically what you want. We'll get to you in a minute. But as far as I'm concerned, Michael Fletcher just said it all. What's going to be that lasting moment at WrestleMania? What's going to happen? And you know what? Michael Fletcher, I could not agree with you more. I think you're absolutely spot on. You think this fight's going to close WrestleMania? I'm going to be honest with you. This fight should close WrestleMania. This should be the main event. Forget the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. You want to go for that send the fans home happy motif, a la the old Blockbuster Video? You know, where, go home happy. You all remember that. Those old Blockbuster Video commercials from back in the day. Man, I miss Blockbuster Video, but nonetheless. Oh, guys. And believe it or not, there have been past WrestleManias where the championship of the world was not the main event. Exhibit A, WrestleMania 1. Yes, the champion was in the main event, Hogan, but that was a tag team match. The title was not on the line. The next time we would see that you'd have to go all the way up until WrestleMania 11, when Lawrence Taylor and Bam Bam Bigelow, which had no business being the main event, but it was the main event anyway. And then go up to, after that, WrestleMania 21, that was the World Heavyweight. 20 and 21 was the World Heavyweight Championship, not the WWE Championship. And then 23, and then you'd have to go all the way to 26. Undertaker and Shawn Michaels, career versus streak. We all remember that. Fletch and I, we could tell you stories about that. Fletch had me over his house. You know that story by now. And then 28, the last time it happened, WrestleMania 28, when The Rock and John Cena had their once-in-a-lifetime match. That's the last time that the main event of WrestleMania was not for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. If Vince McMahon and the other suits and the other muckety mucks up there, if they get this right, the main event of WrestleMania 32 better be and should be and will be The Undertaker and Shane McMahon inside Hell in a Cell. The greatest match in WrestleMania history as of right now, we're all in agreement. The last Hell in a Cell match at a WrestleMania, which ironically was also at 28. The end of an era. Undertaker and Triple H. 5 stars, Shakespearean drama. You know that whole thing by now. This match right here, with the control of WWE on the line for Shane O'Mac, with The Undertaker's career on the line. I know there's going to be a lot of AARP jokes. I get it, because of how old these guys are. Taker will be 51. Shane O'Mac will be 46. I get that. But when you factor these two things into this match, I truly believe in my heart of hearts. I know I may be going over the board. I know I may be overstepping the boundaries here, but I don't give a damn. I think this match, if booked correctly, if given the appropriate amount of time, and no shenanigans whatsoever, we could be looking at the new greatest WrestleMania match of all time. No match is ever going to have more Shakespearean drama than this match right here. I'm going on the record right now. I'm not going to give you my pick. I'm going to save that for next Friday night. But I am going to make a bold statement. This match is going to be a 5-star classic. This fight's going to be the fight of the night. This fight's going to steal the show. This fight's going to be the match of the year for 2016 in any wrestling promotion whatsoever. And I also think that, like I said, if it's booked correctly and if given the appropriate amount of time, Shane McMahon and Undertaker inside Hell in a Cell with control of WWE and Taker's career, this fight could go down. Could. Keyword could. Go down as the new greatest match in the history of WrestleMania. The 32-year history of WrestleMania. There. I tried. Michael Bullock, how do you follow that? You're in the ultimate no-win situation, my friend, and I hate to do it to you. I love you, man. You know I do, but, I don't envy you.
Yeah, I'm basically in a no-win situation here when it comes to this. I mean, especially now with this stipulation added. I mean, either way, I'm not going to win here, no matter what happens. I mean, Shane McMahon wins, he gets control of Monday Night Raw and the WWE. But that would also mean Taker's career is over. Man. And Florio and I, we talked about this in our brief Raw chat. And if you want to reiterate to our fans, Florio, ask me that question again of what you told me.
Oh man, that was about 2 hours ago. I'm trying to think what that was.
Which is more important, Shane McMahon?
Yes. What is more important to you, Michael Bullock? What do you want more? Do you want Shane McMahon to run Monday Night Raw, or do you want your hero's legacy, to continue on and on and on forever and ever? Amen.
Whew. Man,
Can't have it both ways, buddy. I hate to say it.
Yeah, unfortunately, you can't have it both ways. This is tough. It's tough for me. I mean, I know I said this to you earlier, Florio, but now come to think of it, it's tough to choose between one or the other. But I'll tell you this: if it does happen that Shane does win, I'm going to say this right now. It's going to be tough for me to focus when we do the WrestleMania recap on Fletch's channel. It's going to be tough for me if the impossible does happen. When we do our WrestleMania preview show, it's going to be one of the most toughest decisions that I've ever had to make. Do I go with Shane McMahon for him to control Monday Night Raw and possibly we see the end of The Undertaker? Or do I want The Undertaker to win to add to his legacy? But unfortunately would also mean Shane McMahon would lose everything. This is tough. I don't know what else there is to say. I'm basically in a no-win situation, and I'm sure any non-Undertaker fan, or that's basically a hater of him, they're probably not showing any sympathy for me. So I don't know what else there's to say except Florio. Let's move on.
Oh man, wow. We're all pretty much exhausted after that. So, but we still got to continue.
And like I said, Florio, if it does happen, where Shane wins and the career of The Undertaker's over, it's going to be tough for me to focus on the WrestleMania recap.
I know. I don't blame you. I mean, I honestly felt the same way a month and change ago when we had to do that wrestling forum the night that Daniel Bryan announced his retirement. So,
but this would be 10 times tougher.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this could possibly be the final time we see your man, The Undertaker, inside the squared circle, like the late great Gorilla Monsoon would say. So, my Lord in heaven. That's all I can say.
I don't know.
But man, oh man, I mean, Fletcher echoed Derek's sentiment. I mean, and our sentiment. 12 nights cannot get here fast enough. I mean, that's the one match that not just Michael Bullock's going to have the most vested interest in the fight, but Fletcher and I, that's the one match that we're all looking forward to it. Not just here in Rhode Island, but all over the world, including, well, as of now, they've sold over 84,000 tickets for WrestleMania 32. It'll be very interesting to see what that announced attendance will be when they announce the attendance, whatever point they decide to do it. When we get to WrestleMania in less than 2 weeks. But how do you follow that? Well, we got to follow it up with the main event of the evening, the Lunatic Fringe, Dean Ambrose against the black sheep of the Wyatt family, Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman actually gets the win via disqualification in 6 minutes and 20 seconds after Ambrose hit Braun Strowman with a steel chair. So, I gotta say this is another NA for me. Another so-so main event, a flat main event, if I'm being honest with you, a meh main event, to be honest with you. I mean, for the second time this year, Braun Strowman main events of Monday Night Raw. Of course, don't even get me started on that Big Show mess, but, well, this wasn't as bad as the Big Show fight. It was okay, but honestly, you know, it was basically there to hype up, to serve as some more hype for the Lesnar-Ambrose street fight at WrestleMania. Paul Heyman was on commentary. That was the only good thing about it. Heyman was hysterical on commentary, I will tell you, but the big announcement, don't forget, Brock Lesnar will be in the house. He'll be in our neck of the woods of the TD Garden in Boston, Massachusetts, tomorrow night for the SmackDown taping. Spoilers come out in about 24 hours. I for one, cannot wait to see what Brock Lesnar is going to have in store for us and those great fans in the TD Garden tomorrow night. So that's going to be some very interesting stuff, to say the very least. So this is an NA for me. I'm really not gonna. I really don't want to get in any more of that. I mean, I'm pretty much wiped out after that last segment. So with all that being said, Bullock, your thoughts on the main event and all that.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say NA as well. But yeah, it's gonna be very interesting to see what happens when Brock Lesnar invades SmackDown at the TD Garden. Well, on Thursday night, but we'll find out come tomorrow night when the spoilers come out. So yeah, so really got nothing more to say. So, Fletcher, your thoughts on the main event?
NA, no doubt about it. Nice little filler for everybody involved. Uh, Apparently there was a little incident that happened in Philadelphia with Braun Strowman. Apparently, Dinkelberg decided that they wanted to throw a punch and swing at Braun Strowman. Um, actually connected with them. You know, normally 9 times out of 10, that you think a big guy like Braun Strowman would have grabbed that guy and beat the living piss out of him. Nah, they let the WWE security and the Philadelphia security immediately jumped the guy, had him arrested and hauled off. So he's gonna be spending the night in the pokey in the Illadelph, as I would say. So other than that, NA, nothing more to say. Philly crowd strikes again, as we would say. Floyo overall review time.
Michael Bullock, do you want to start it off, or do you want Fletcher to start it?
I say have Fletcher start. I mean, I'm still trying to recover from that McMahon segment.
Uh,
All right, Fletcher, overall thoughts.
Average show, not that great. I mean, the first hour was absolutely amazing. Derek Ferrera went off on a major rant on his SLB 2008-09 channel. Lily Pearl harbored it. 411mania.com gave it a 3.5 out of 10, saying that it was a bad show. It was a bad show. This was basically a major FU to the city of Philadelphia, an IWC crowd, and they gave them an average, mediocre show. Like I said, it started out red freaking hot with the one out with the jump off. I thought the first hour was absolutely amazing. Then after that, it went downhill. You got a brief little pump with the big announcement by Vince McMahon about about the Undertaker. I'm sorry, I gotta slam this show. 3 out of 10 is my rating for tonight's Monday Night Raw. I thought this was beyond average. This was a disappointment, and if you're a fan of Philadelphia, I would be demanding a refund tonight. Anthony, it's yours.
3 out of 10, is that what you said, Fletch?
You damn skippy hippie.
Wow. All right. Well, I'm going to be honest here. I'm going to be a little more lenient here. Don't worry, I'm not going all in, but I'm going to give it between 4 to 5 out of 10, to be honest with you. It's because of that AJ Styles Kevin Owens bout. I thought that was really good. That was the fight of the night, no question about it. Second best fight of the night, and the sleeper fight of the night. Biggie Langston against Rusev, Charlotte and Talia. Those are your 3 quality fights right there. But another thing, I mean, that McMahon announcement, I mean, I know the live crowd may not have gotten much of a reaction out of it, but the 3 of us, you heard what we just had to say about it. Oh, believe us, you just heard what we just said. That's going to go down as maybe the greatest segment in Wrestling Forum history, no doubt about it. But man, oh man, alive. But then everything else was pretty much meh. So I think maybe 4 out of 10 is probably the correct rating. Maybe even 5. I mean, 5 is the best I could go. I'm just going to stick with it. 4 to 5 out of 10 is my rating for tonight. Maybe leaning more towards 4 out of 10. You know, the infamous Bret Hart Mimi on Mimi Gene. But yeah, 3 quality bouts, a couple of okay segments, but that Vince segment, I mean, that was the one that really did it for us. So that was the segment of the night as far as I'm concerned. So 4 to 5 out of 10 is my rating for the show. So Michael Bullock, do you agree with me? Do you agree with Fletcher, or do you have your own rating altogether? What do you say?
I'm going 3 out of 10. I mean, this was a shitty show tonight. I mean, this really sucked ass. I mean, come on, WWE. Philadelphia, this is an IWC crowd. And you give them this piss poor of a show? If I were attending that show tonight, I would march right up to those in charge of the of the arena, and I would say, I want my damn money back. Damn it! I mean, I paid this much to see Monday Night Raw, a piss poor show tonight. Give me my money back, or I'm suing you for not giving me my money back, because I'm not paying that money for a show like this. So WWE, I'm sending a warning to you. Next week's Monday Night Raw, this is your go home to WrestleMania 32 edition of Monday Night Raw. This needs to be a 7 out of 10. At least a 7 out of 10 for it to be a passable show. If it's anything lower than that, watch out. The Phenom's going to come out and not in a good way. So WWE, you better shape up or you better ship out, and it's going to be a big old F you to you at WWE if you give us another piss poor show next week. Done. Finished. Florio, let's move on to shout-out time.
Oh, well, you're forgetting the Mikey's Mindset and
Mikey's Mindset
and the Tony set. But before we get into that,
let's move on to Mikey's Mindset before I really lose it.
I know. But before we do that, I just want to share this from Jason Powell from ProWrestling.net. This is what he had to say about the show. A flat penultimate edition of Raw heading into WrestleMania. The show peaked with the Owens-Styles match in the first hour. The bulk of the hype for WrestleMania felt flat and uninspired, as did Vince McMahon's promo about the Taker stipulation. WrestleMania may be a good show, but the build to WrestleMania has been a creative mess. They can blame injuries all they want, but it doesn't explain the sloppy booking or storylines with massive holes and logic gaps. Amen. So, Michael Fletcher, are you ready? Are you ready for your Mikey's Mindset, or do you want me to start it off with the Tony's take? It's up to you.
No, I'm ready. Let me have it.
All right.
I'm in.
Okay. Michael Fletcher's Mikey's Mindset. He's got the latest news in ROH, a huge ladder match on the upcoming Lucha Underground, and maybe a brief recap of the big RWA Perseverance show that you attended last Friday night. So here you go, ladies and gentlemen. Mikey's Mindset, Michael Fletcher, it's all yours, bud.
Well, actually, Anthony, let me just reiterate something, because you're talking about this big ladder match. No. Hold up. What this is coming up is the biggest, well, in a couple of weeks, yes, there is a big fight coming up. And they did talk about how it was going to be an amazing thing. So, what we had this week on Lucha Underground was basically, it was a rematch. A match that was very highly anticipated. It was Ivelisse, the Son of Habit, and Atletico going up against the Disciples of Death for the Lucha Underground Trios Championship. The winner of the bout and the new Trios Champions, Ivelisse, Son of Habit, and Atletico, they won the titles. They're once again the Lucha Underground Trios Team Champions. Congratulations to them. They deserve it. A great moment for them. The next fight of the night we had was Tejano going one-on-one with Chavo Guerrero, and this was in a bull rope match. The winner of the fight in that one was Tejano. Now, this is the main event. The main event of this show was for the Lucha Underground Heavyweight Championship of the World. Phoenix, the man who had the Gift of God's belt, he forfeited that belt for the right to face Mil Muertes, the man of 1,000 deaths, for the championship. And of course, the beautiful Katrina was in the corner of Mil Muertes. When it was all said and done, the winner of the bout and new Lucha Underground Heavyweight Champion, Phoenix, he wins the title. But wait. Anthony, you thought that they were going to announce a ladder match. The ladder match was for the Gift of God's belts. That was a previous episode. What's coming up this week, or coming up next week, is this. Get ready for Aztec Warfare. That's right. It is their version of the Royal Rumble. And for the first time ever, just like the Royal Rumble was, the Lucha Underground Heavyweight Championship is now on the line. Phoenix, our new champion, will enter at number 1. Mil Muertes, the man of 1,000 deaths, will enter at number 20, the final spot. Everybody else is in play. And as a matter of fact, I can even let you in on a little secret. Rey Mysterio is going to be in that fight. That's right. Rey's about to make his debut in the temple. What does that mean? What's going to happen? You're just going to have to wait and find out this Wednesday night, exclusively on the El Rey Network. Now, speaking of Ring of Honor and the War and the War of the Worlds show, okay. So what happened was Ring of Honor had this big show just recently, and it was called War of the Worlds, and it had everybody all going, everybody was all jumping up and down, and the show was amazing. So what they did was they did a pay-per-view show, and behind that they had another program, and this program that went down was basically, let me just get something quick. War of the Worlds was basically their version of a big mixed brand show. What did they do? They brought a whole bunch of guys from New Japan Pro Wrestling, and they brought a whole bunch of guys from New Japan Pro Wrestling, and they brought in a whole bunch of guys from different parts. And this War of the Worlds this year was from Dearborn, Michigan. Well, at least night 1 of the show was from Dearborn, Michigan. And on this card, I'll say, was an absolute... It was a good show. It was a thrilling show. I liked it. And at the end of the day, if I can get it up, let me get a second here. Come on, tell me. It's this one. Alright. And then we had let me see. Yeah, it was here. Why am I not getting the fight card? Or was it Global Wars? I had it last night. What happened? Alright, Anthony, why don't you take over? I don't know, something went wrong here, so take over and I'll come back and I'll finish off my thought, alright?
Yeah, absolutely. Not a problem. I'm ready to go anyway. So, all right, now Tony's take. A little earlier than expected, but that's all right. I'm ready to rock and roll. So, started off with TNA Impact Wrestling. Of course, last week a live edition of TNA Impact Wrestling as it returned from their UK tour, and it was back at the Impact Zone in Orlando, Florida. And it started off with a big announcement. Big announcement. Dixie was at it again. Dixie Carter. She made an announcement that Jeff Hardy and Eric Young would have a match, and the winner of that match between Jeff Hardy and Eric Young would then be added to the Matt Hardy EC3 World Heavyweight Championship match as part of a triple threat match in the main event. So we started it off. Jeff Hardy, one-on-one with the King of the Mountain champion, the world-class maniac Eric Young. The winner of the match, Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy going to the TNA World Heavyweight Championship match. One of the fights of the night, about 2.5 to 3 stars, a solid match between those two. And then after the match, Matt Hardy and his family, made their appearance, and then it was a segment between Matt and Jeff, and well, segment of the night. This was absolutely fantastic. I mean, Matt Hardy continuing to shine in that heel role, and Jeff was a little off, but other than that, I mean, it was still the segment of the night for me. This is a match that I know Michael Fletcher was looking forward to as well as myself. A mixed tag team match. The Miracle, Mike Bennett and his wife, Maria Kanellis, going up against Drew Galloway and Gail Kim. Winners of the match in 3 minutes and 20 seconds. The Miracle, Mike Bennett and Maria Kanellis. And believe it or not, Maria Kanellis scores the fall. Yes, it was the dreaded roll-up of doom, but she rolled up Gail Kim and got the 1-2-3. About 1.5 to 2 stars, way too short for my liking. I mean, I was hoping for more, but it is what it is. But we're definitely going to get a segment with a program with Gail and Maria down the line. In-ring segment, Bobby Lashley. He was being interviewed by Josh Matthews, and well, this to me was the second best segment of the night, only because I like the Hardy segment a little more. But this was just as good. I mean, a great segment with Bobby Lashley. I mean, he attacked Josh Matthews, and then the Pope, D'Angelo De Niro, a.k.a. Elijah Burke from ECW in the WWE, Lashley took him out, and unfortunately, he would be done for the night. Jeremy Borash would take over Pope's analyst role while Josh Matthews still continued, despite getting beat down by Lashley himself. And that was that. So then a backstage moment, and then a very unique 6-person intergender tag team match here. Beer Money, the new tag team champions, teaming up with Eddie Edwards of the Wolves against all 3 members of the Decay. Abyss, Crazy Steve, and yes, even Rosemary was in the bout. Winners of the match in 7 minutes and 10 seconds, Decay. Crazy Steve with a roll up on Eddie Edwards after a low blow. About 2 to 2.25 stars for this bout, maybe 2.5. Okay fight for what it was. Solid for what it was. So I'm just going to leave it at that. Then in-ring segment, Eli Drake, Grado, and Billy Corgan. Billy Corgan, the Smashing Pumpkins, is now an authority figure in TNA. Dixie Carter's right-hand man, if you will. Basically talked about, and it basically led into a match. Grado versus Eli Drake in a ladder match. And the winner of the match in 7 minutes and 5 seconds, Grado. Grado's back in TNA. So Michael Fletcher, celebrate. Your boy's back in business, Grado. Sleeper fight of the night. I'm not going to lie here. I mean, I didn't think this was going to be anything special, but 2.5 stars. I was very pleased. I thought this was going to be a mess, but no, this ladder match actually surprised the hell out of me. I can't believe I'm saying that, but it's true. Main event time, triple threat match, TNA World Heavyweight Championship. Matt Hardy, Jeff Hardy, Ethan Carter III. Fight ends in a no contest because Mike Bennett, the Miracle Mike Bennett, took out EC3, and then Jeff Hardy was taken out by Eric Young and Bram. And then Matt Hardy, was about to take his ball and go home, but you think that's the show? Nope, not yet. Guess who comes out next? Drew Galloway. Drew Galloway with his Feast or Fired World Heavyweight Championship briefcase. Oh yes, he cashes in. A cash in, and in just 25 seconds, the winner and new TNA World Heavyweight Champion, Drew Galloway. Wow. Now, as far as the triple threat goes, it's still the fight of the night. 3.25, 3.5 stars. That's my rating for that. But as far as this is the other thing is concerned, it's an NA, of course, but I don't give a damn. Drew Galloway, World Heavyweight Champion in TNA. How about it, WWE? You had a guy with unlimited potential when he first came in. And what did you do to him? What did you do to him? You made him a campy comedy dud enhancement talent as part of one of the worst stables in the history of professional wrestling, in the three-man band or three-man dud, as we always say. But nonetheless, there you go. Drew Galloway is now the World Heavyweight Champion. I, for one, could not be any happier for him. So well done. Well done. So it's about a 6 to 7 out of 10, but to me, the highlight, far and away, Drew Galloway winning the title. There's nothing left for me to say on that. Just absolutely phenomenal. So happy for him. He deserves it, man. No doubt about it. Especially after how he was treated in the WWE. Come on. So, with that being said, what can we expect for the next show tonight? Well, here you go. Partial spoilers, mind you. Eddie Edwards will go up against Crazy Steve in a street fight. Beer Money to go up against, well, I guess we could say the Bromans are reunited, I guess. So James Storm and Bobby Roode against, we got Beer Money against the Bromans, apparently. Apparently we have a match between Maria Kanellis and Gail Kim. We'll keep an eye out for that. Jade against, well, all three members of the Dollhouse had to face each other in a triple threat match to become the #1 contender for Gail Kim's Knockouts Championship. So very interesting there. I mean, just to know that that's going to be going down. And then, of course, the big news in TNA, for those of you who may not know, Bobby Roode and Eric Young announcing their resignation from TNA. So, very interesting. What's going to happen with those two? I don't know. But, so that's it for that. So that's the big news in TNA. Drew Galloway is the new World Heavyweight Champion. So, that's awesome stuff right there. All right, now, SmackDown now. This last SmackDown was in Cincinnati, Ohio. Yeah, Cincinnati, Ohio, U.S. Bank Arena. It started off with an in-ring segment with Roman Reigns. Yeah, he got booed out of the building, folks. I'm not going to lie to you. He got booed out of the building. But, you know, it was a fine segment for what it was, you know, short and sweet, as you know. So I'm just going to leave it at that. Solid segment for Roman Reigns as far as that promo segment goes. First match of the night, The Miz against Dolph Ziggler for the 80 millionth time. Dolph Ziggler won it, but not a bad match. About 2 to 2.25 stars, maybe 2.5. That's the best I can give for that one. It filled time, but it wasn't particularly satisfying. You know, really hard to get excited about the mid-card at the moment, given how they just trade wins and nobody ever gets real traction, so I'm just going to leave it at that. Goldust against Bubba Ray Dudley. Bubba Ray Dudley got the win. Absolute dud. Worst fight of the night. I'm not even going to bother with it. The face-to-face-to-face segment, Charlotte, Sasha Banks, Becky Lynch, far and away segment of the night. This was phenomenal. Absolutely fantastic. This is what got my excitement level for the Divas match for WrestleMania at a sky high right here. After watching this segment, my adrenaline was pumping at that moment. That was freaking awesome. Well done, all three of them. And then New Day, they did the promo there, fine for what it was. Kofi Kingston would go up against Wade Barrett. Kofi wins it. Another solid match, another solid 2 to 2.5 star fight there. And then, of course, the main event, AJ Styles against Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens wins it with the pop-up powerbomb. Fight of the night, no doubt about it. 3.5 stars. Very good main event. So, as far as this show is concerned, 50-50 show. It's a 5 out of 10, but when it comes to it, go out of your way to watch the Owens and Styles fight, and also go out of your way to check out the face-to-face with the Divas. So those were far and away the two highlights of that show, most definitely. So I'm just going to leave it at that. Michael Fletcher, I don't know if you're ready to come back in and finish up your Mikey's Mindset. I hope you are, because I'm pretty much done. Of course, don't forget, SmackDown tonight in Boston, the Beast Incarnate, Brock Lesnar. You ready, Fletch?
I'm definitely ready to go. What
Right.
happened was I actually went into the wrong show. Basically, the TV taping was during the anniversary special, the 14th anniversary special, and basically what they did was they did 13 fights, but what they did was they broke it into 3 episodes. So you're getting a little bit here, a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give a little bit tonight, a little bit what's going to be on next week, and then we'll go on to there, because they did like at least 4 tapings of this shows. So here's the first one. We had Tamariro Ashihi from New Japan Pro Wrestling. He went up against Cedric Alexander for the Ring of Honor World Television Championship, the winner of the bout, and still champion. It was Ashihi. He wins. The next fight we had was Reno Scum, which was Adam Thornslaw and Lester the Legend, and they went up against the Briscoe brothers. We already know how that was going to end up. Briscoes wins it. And in our main event for the evening, this is a true classic fight. Matt Jackson and Nick Jackson, the Young Bucks, goes up against Unbreakable Michael Elgin and the Way of the Future. You guys know him. He's the John Cena of Japan. Hiroshi Tanahashi. Tanahashi and Elgin won the match. That was clearly the fight of the night for the first show. Coming up this week on Ring of Honor Wrestling, once again, like I said, this one was from Las Vegas, Nevada, from the Sam's Town Live Casino in Vegas. We have a 4-way fight. Roderick Strong, Adam Page, Matt Sydal, and Moose. They're going to be in a fatal 4-way. Then we have is Cheeseburger going one-on-one against Fox Yender. That's a solo fight. And then in the main event of this show, the Ring of Honor World Heavyweight title is going to be on the line. The champion, Jay Lethal, with Truth Martini and Taylor Hendricks, goes up against New Japan Pro Wrestling star Hiroki Goto. So that's our big show for New Japan. And like I said, for Lucha Underground this week, it's basically Aztec Warfare. They're going to have that big fight go down. And then in basically for for the ROH, for RWA, basically I pretty much gave everything in my previous video, but I do encourage you, please go on to it as well. It was a big success, to say the very least, and I was very pleased with the outcome. For many people who probably did not know, just to give you at least a brief little recap, Thor Davidson won the beard versus beard match. Then we got a new number 1 contender for the tag team championship. It's the Heavy Hitters. After that, we did have an altered match. Liz B knocks off T Phoenix in a one-on-one battle. Then later in the evening, we did have a number 1 contenders for the Hype Championship. It ended in a no contest. Basically, Vincenzo Abruzzi and Nick Marchand were declared winners because it was declared a draw because they did have a submission at the exact same time. Then the big 3 fights of the night. Jammin' Jack Connor is still your Triple Crown champion. He beat the Insane Dick Lane and the Terror Tom Billington in a triple threat match for the titles. Tyler Nitro gave a gallant effort. However, the Secret City outfit, Triplicious, was just a little too much. Had a little help from Mike Gamble and Deanna on Fire, and successfully defended his Hype Championship. And in our main event for the evening, we do declare have new uh, RWA World Tag Team Champions Tommy Trainwreck and President God himself, Devin Blades, the Minutemen, won the match, and unfortunately, we were forced to see the Influence, Mike Montero and Jason Devine. Their 5-year partnership has been broken up. They are no longer allowed to team as a tag team ever again in RWA. And just to give you a brief little heads up, guys, and just to confirm one other thing, because actually I did get the okay by President God and by the RWA management to officially announce this. The next major event is Saturday night, April 9, from the RWA Chop Shop in Providence, Rhode Island. It's RWA's April Rain. And like I said, as soon as I do hear matches announced for this card, I will basically confirm and let you guys know. I kind of have an idea of what one match could be, but I don't want to reveal it just yet. I might hold off, and then we'll hear and see what happens. But one match that I would kind of pencil in, but I would not put on pen yet, is I believe in my heart of hearts, I think we might have 2 matches already to be set up. This is just all predictions now. This is what, if I was the RWA booker, this is what I would do. First off, I would have the RWA Hype Championship on the line, Triplicious versus Francesco Abruzzi and Nick Marchand in a triple threat match. Then for the RWA Tag Team Championship, I would have Shay Cash and Frank Champion, the heavy hitters, go up against Tommy Trainwreck and President God, Devin Blades, the Minutemen, and that would be for your RWA Tag Team Championship. So those would be the 2 fights I would book for now, and then we'll wait and see what happens down the line. And until then, guys, that's it. That's the Mikey's Mindset. Anthony, it's time to say a good night on the show.
Indeed it is. So we're about to put a wrap on this edition of the Wrestling Forum. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning in. Michael Bullock, start it off with your shout-outs if you're still with us. Yeah, I think we lost him. So
Yep.
So Fletch, start it off.
All right. First off, I want to say thank you to all the great fans out there who makes Wrestling Forum and Strictly Sports as awesome as it is. You guys are the best fans in the world. As always, I want us to give a big shout out to all of the super fans out there. And you know what? The hell with it. I'm going to go one by one. Megan Silva, Kaiser Butler, Dee Dee Woodson, Kevin Woodson, the entire Woodson family, Daniel Latrell of the UK, Jason Hittebog. I also want to give a big shout out to my friends in the junior high and high school days. You guys already know who you guys are. To the 2184 crew, I wasn't with them today, but I will say that you guys have always been so good to me. I want to give a big shout out to my boy Tyrone. He's actually a wrestling fan. He actually hit me up about a few things. And I also want to give a big shout out to Sean Frazier as well. He's been chatting with me lately, who's a good friend of the First Lady of Wrestling Forum, Megan Silva, as well. So I want to give a big thank you to them, as always. A special happy birthday to Shayla McConnell. That's Bill McConnell's daughter. I think she's a teenager now. I think she's like 13, 14 years old. But much love to her. She's a great friend, and I want to give her the biggest shout out of all. And then, of course, to all the guys from the Renegade Wrestling Alliance. I mean, I don't even know where to begin, from T Phoenix to Devin Blades, Liz B, Connor, Jack Connor, Mike Santana, Lucy Santana, Rob Massey. Um, I mean, I can go on for days of all of the guys from the RWA. You guys made me so good. You guys gave me so much love. I even got a chance to talk to Triplicious himself, talking about how great my video was, and they tell me keep promoting, keep doing it. You've been such a great help for us. And he's like, as if you guys help me, if you keep doing this for us, we'll keep giving the love to the wrestling forum and you guys in return. And even Derek Ferreira has pretty much said that I'm practically now the guy for the RWA, as he's the guy for Beyond Wrestling. So I hope that we continue with all the love and the support. Thank you so much. As everything else, like I said, I got a couple of interviews lined up with some RWA guys very soon. As long as I can get all the details nailed down, we'll have something very soon. Either it'll be on the Wrestling Forum or on my page on BrazeFan95 as part of Mikey's Mindset. But whatever the case may be, this is Wrestling Forum sanctioned, and we are going to do it very soon. So we just got to nail down a couple of things, and we'll go from there. But that's it. Yeah, and I'm going to give you a big heads up, guys. I will be on Strictly Sports this Friday night. I don't have to work early in the morning on Saturday, so you're going to get Mike Fletcher in the house. And Anthony, set the table, man. What we got for this week's Strictly Sports?
Well, that's great news. I'm glad to hear that, Michael Fletcher. It's been forever and a day since we've had you on a Friday Night Strictly Sports, although you did arrive late on our last show. But, oh, man, that last show, I'll tell you. I'll get into that in a minute. But, of course, my shout-out, you know how I'm going to do it. Of course, a special shout-out to all of our tremendous fans and viewers out there who continue to make the Wrestling Forum and Strictly Sports exactly what it is. It's ridiculously over as it is. Very much appreciated, as always. You are the best fans in the world. Enough said on that. Of course, our super fans, Dee Dee Woodson, Kevin Woodson, and the entire Woodson family, along with Matt Ward, Jason Hicksonbaugh, Daniel Luttrell from the UK, our first ladies, Megan Silva and Kaiser Butler, our friends from our high school days, Tommy Souza, Eric Carrier, Jimmy Alden, Al Braderson, and Rob Parsons, as well as the hardcore pipe bomb himself, Derek Ferreira. And, yeah, I'll save the rest of my shout-outs for Friday night on Strictly Sports. And I tell you what, 14 views for our last show. I know that may not mean anything, but 14 views. We had that big show last Friday night when we recapped the NCAA tournament, as well as that epic live commentary that we did with those two exciting finishes in the St. Joe's, Cincinnati, and Northern Iowa, Texas games. Unreal. That's all I can say about that. Man, did we have fun with that. But Derek Ferreira posted the docket several hours ago on the Strictly Sports Facebook page, and I have it right here and now, so here you go. Friday night on Strictly Sports, Ben Simmons declares for the NBA draft, Anthony Davis out for the season, a recap of the Sweet 16 in the NCAA tournament with more possible live commentary. Let's pray to God that happens. We'll also preview the Elite Eight matchups and the return of the power rankings. This time around, it will be the NHL power rankings. And let me just say, tonight in the NHL schedule, we had a game that had major implications. And I'm pleased to announce it was myself and Michael Fletcher's New York Rangers picking up a humongous win in Madison Square Garden tonight against a very game, and I do mean very game, Florida Panthers team tonight. So Mikey and I could not be any more delighted with that outcome. So, well done, boys. Well done. Let's hope that this will be the beginning of bigger and better things to come over the next few months. Pray to God for that. All right, so that's it for that. So Ben Simmons for the draft, Anthony Davis out for the season, recap of the Sweet 16, preview of the Elite Eight, and NHL Power Rankings. So that's just Strictly Sports on Friday. So that's on Friday night, and then, of course, next Monday night, and, of course, don't forget, next week is WrestleMania week. the biggest week of the year for all of us here at the Wrestling Forum. The three of us will be here next Monday night for the Wrestling Forum, where we will review the biggest Raw of the year up to this point, the Go Home to WrestleMania edition of Monday Night Raw from the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. Oh my goodness, that's going to be amazing. And then on Thursday, we will preview the NXT TakeOver Dallas show. And then the next night, Friday night, our biggest Wrestling Forum show of the year. The three of us, hopefully, as well as the return of the hardcore pipe bomb himself, Derek Ferreira, makes his return to the Wrestling Forum. Well, he'll also be on our TakeOver preview show, but he'll also be with us when we preview the biggest event of the year, WrestleMania 32. Off night Saturday so we can watch the Hall of Fame and the Final Four. And then on Sunday night, April 3rd, our complete recap of WrestleMania 32. So we're going to be busy the next couple of weeks. But boy howdy, we can't wait. So with all that being said, that's going to put the bow on this very long edition of the Wrestling Forum. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning in. So until Friday night for Strictly Sports, 10:30, right back here on the Tone 25 with the three of us. It's Ridiculously Over Anthony Florio here for the Cerebral Viper, Michael Fletcher, for the Phenom, Michael Bullock, and in spirit, the Hardcore Pipe on Derek Ferreira. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah, throw it up Fortune Force style. Have a blessed rest of the week, my friends. And until Friday night for Strictly Sports, you've been watching the Wrestling Forum right here on the Tone 25 on YouTube.com. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. And for now, Anthony Florio here. So long.